Okay, so class, here we're going to talk about the plant experiment, the final plant experiment that we're going to be doing. So let me click on this so you can see. And so you see a lot of links here. And so what most of these links are for you to do research about plants. The idea of this experiment is you're going to pick your own problem, your own question for the plant experiment. So as you can see here, this one's about soil pH. This one's a bit about the effect of food dye on flowers with roots. This one's the effect of salt on stopping plant growth. This one's the effect of sound on plants and climate factors on plants, sugar and water, salt water on plants, regulating sugar and plant growth, bacteria. So there's lots of places to start with your research. Now, I fully encourage you to go ahead and look elsewhere. If you have other ideas in your mind right now, good, do some research on them. See if it's something that can be turned into an experiment. Remember, every idea or every question is not test worthy. But when you come up with something that is test worthy and you can have a nice hypothesis developed for it, then that's what we want to do. So these other links down here are about the experiment. So let's go ahead and look at those now. The first one is the experimental design. It's called the Inquiry Investigation Overview. And what this document is for is to basically explain to you what each section's about. So you propose a question that says, this is the problem or question you want to solve. So it tells you what that is. This section explains what should be in your abstract. This is your hypothesis section. This is your experimental design section. Notice that in the experimental design section, all of these pieces are indented. That means nothing goes here. These pieces are your experimental design. Materials and equipment, procedure, and then identifying the variables. Back up to the abstract for a minute. I gave you sentences that can help you make sure you include the question, the research, the hypothesis, procedure, results, and conclusions. The abstract briefly states all of those things. The results section, you have to think about what you're going to observe, how you're going to collect data. Basically, you're going to have a data table, and you're going to have a graph, and then you're going to have another section, which is your analysis of results. It's going to be a brief paragraph that's going to explain the important data or trends in your experiment. Your conclusion's going to use recall, which is restate, explain, call back, analyze, lapses, and light bulb. So all of those things have to be in your conclusion. And then the references, you have to include references. So the second document here, this is your template. Notice this is much more briefly written than the inquiry overview. The inquiry overview is, again, your explanation. This just gives you a couple of key pointers about what goes in each section. Right at the top here, it says, all parentheses should be erased from this template upon completion of the assignment. Erase this. You're going to highlight this and erase this. You're going to highlight this and you're going to erase this before you do your writing, or certainly before you complete your report. Here's a parentheses, erase that. All of these parentheses should be gone before you submit the final product. Okay? These are just to help guide you. Now, I did also provide an example of someone's document from another experiment called Our Seeds Alive. Notice that the only thing here are their work. I don't see any parentheses in here. It's just their written work. Some important things to point out. Their abstract has two references that are used in the context of their writing to help support their work. These are in APA style. Their hypothesis and their question, even though used in the abstract, are restated separately so that it's really clear what that is for you and so that I can clearly see it. Materials and equipment are listed. Notice there's nothing by experimental design because these things indented are the experimental design. Procedure is numbered. Variables are identified. Your results has a table, has a graph, and then we get to the analysis results. This is really too long. I don't expect to be this long, and it does not have to use references. This is going to be much shorter and just simply state what happened in these two. What are the important data points? What's the important trends that your reader should see? Last is your conclusion using recall, and in addition, should have two references. It could be the same references in your abstract. They could be different references. Your reference section has your resources. This person had 5 of them. These are listed in APA style. Okay. And so the last thing I want to show you is that one of the links I didn't talk about was your citation generator, which will help you put things in APA style. Okay? I hope this was helpful. I hope to see great work from all of you.